Hello everyone, it's been 20 days that Dele Farotimi was abducted by the Nigerian police in his office in Lagos and taken to Ekiti State for a crime that does not exist in Ekiti State. That's the criminality of the Nigerian police that we have and how much of a willing tool of oppression that they are. All because Dele Farotimi wrote a book titled The Criminal Justice System in Nigeria, and he mentioned specific names, one of whom is Afe Babalola and his law firm and some of the lawyers there. He mentioned, their names and how they have corrupted and criminalized the justice system. And of course, they abducted him, they came after him. Don't get anyone wrong. Afe Babalola has a right to sue Dele Farotimi if he feels that he has been defamed for libel or whatever, but do it within the ambit of the law. It's a civil case. Go do it. But getting police to come and abduct Dele Farotimi and actually using the same judiciary to show that indeed it's a criminal enterprise to trample down on the rights and keep him incarcerated. Is Dele Farotimi actually acting out the book? So that for those who don't know how to read or who don't like to read or who don't want to read, they will see it in real life what it is that Dele Farotimi wrote in that book. According to Professor Chidi Odinkalu, he said Dele Farotimi was taken hostage. He's not going through legal trial but judicial legal terrorism. Odinkalu asserts that Farotimi is not undergoing a legitimate trial but rather facing judicial and legal terrorism. Professor Chidi Anslem Odinkalu, former chairman of the Nigerian Human Rights Commission, has strongly condemned the detention of human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi. Odinkalu asserts that Farotimi is not undergoing a legitimate trial but rather facing judicial and legal terrorism. During a conversation hosted by Omoyele Sowore on X space on Thursday, Sowore described Farotimi's situation as a hostage-taking scenario where the excuse of legality is being used to perpetuate injustice. He emphasized the need for Nigerians to stand up against the repression of free speech, starting with Farotimi's case, warning that failure to do this will hinder progress. Odinkalu also expressed concern about the conspiracy of silence among lawyers, judges, politicians, and their associates who he believes are manipulating the court system to avoid accountability. He commended participants for showing solidarity with Farotimi, stressing that every act of support is crucial in the fight against injustice. This is not about Dele, he said, insisting that Dele knows the score. It could happen to any of us. It should worry every Nigerian how one person can commander the police force, commander the judiciary, commander the political system, and commander the prison system, and determine how long a Nigerian who is a lawyer actually of considerable seniority can be held behind bars on a crime that does not exist in the state where it is being looked into. That should worry every one of us because it says that we don't have a country. So this actually is a fight over whether or not we can be citizens of a country. Fundamentally, that is what it is. He added, you accuse a guy of corruption and then they decided to show that everything he said is valid. So if Dele had orchestrated and written this as a script, you could not have done much better. I mean, this is a real case of fiction being more. How do they even put that thing about fiction and facts and all of that? It's just crazy. So what can we do? Where are we? This is not about the story of one man. The story is that our country has been captured by a very narrow cabal who wants to keep us all oppressed using the appearances of rule of law, because when a judge who is on a big wig as jury and sit down and pronounce it as law that the man who came forth in an election is first, it becomes rule of law. That suppression of rule of law is what we must keep our eye on. A lot of people will tell you, go and register to vote. I cannot tell anybody in Nigeria to go and register to vote. We must keep our eye on the court system and those who we call judges, magistrates, senior advocate of Nigeria's lawyer. That is where the battle will be fought and won. Unless we fight and win that battle with the lawyers and the judges and the politicians, their mistresses, girlfriends, children who have conspired to take our court system in order to avoid the anger of the people who they no longer serve, we will not make any progress. We have to understand the fact that we will no longer win elections in the polling units. We will not win elections in the court system. That delegitimizes our democratic system. This is one thing it is fundamentally about. And if we are not going to do that to scramble that conspiracy of the capture of the country, all of us will to have to consider exile for ourselves and our children. The law professor emphasized that Nigeria is a blessed country that has enough resources for all of its citizens, noting that was why some Nigerians are being exiled. The people running the country are bringing back their children so that their children will take everything for themselves. We have to end that. And to end it, let us train our thoughts on the judiciary and the law. All the other details can follow up. There's so many Nigerians, and Dele is one of those who are hostages of the law. Dele is not going through a legal trial. He's going through judicial terrorism and legal terrorism. This is hostage taking using excuse of legality. We are going to make that case rigorously and vigorously across the board on behalf of Nigerians who are going through it at the moment. And I think you all will agree with the words of Professor Chidi Odinkalu that indeed what we have right now is not a legal trial, it's actually a legal terrorism where everything has been thrown out, and what they are hell-bent on is, terrorizing citizens and making them afraid to even speak up in their own country, taking away their voices. Imagine a court ruling that someone should not give media interviews. How does that work? How? Why? Who is afraid of the voice of Dele Farotimi? Well, we do know that a lot of them are afraid. The thing that we almost understand that injustice to one is injustice to all, and whatever is being meted at on one person is like it's being meted at on all of us. If we do nothing about it, it's only a matter of time before indeed they come after each and every one of us. And this is the time for us to let them know that enough is enough, and no Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian, and this country belongs to all of us and not to the few who think that they own this country. I want to say to everyone that have lent their voice to demanding for Mr. Dele Farotimi to be freed, thank you and well done, and keep doing that. Don't shut up. They might call it noise, but it's noise that make impact, and we will continue to ensure that our voices are collectively heard when we say free Dele Farotimi now.